So there's a video I want to show you with Byron Donalds, and you that resurfaced that has gone haywire all over the place with COVID. I don't want to play it right now. This video here, everybody retweeted. How come Chris is not responding to this? Why is Chris? And by the way, you and I haven't even talked about this. I haven't even prepped you that I'm showing this video. It's important for the audience to know that this isn't like we sit here, hey, Chris, I'm going to tee you up with this video and say this. Not a single thing about this video. You said something. Rob, when did I text you the video about Byron Donalds?
I can tell you the exact time. It was
watch this.
9:19 a.m.
The reason why this is important, the reason why that's very important is because you said something. You made me think about the video that a guy texted me this week saying, how come your boy's not responding to this? I said, okay, that's good. Let me just have you respond to it. But before I show it to you, I want to go to our sponsor because Monect is on fire. And let me give you guys some statistic here. It's very, very important, guys, for you to know this. Guy sends me a message today. I won't give you his name, but I'll tell you the question he asked me. Hey, Patrick, life-changing content, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, I've become burned out with my life. I'm a structural engineer. I'm starting to have panic attacks and constant anxiety. And I'm thinking about going across country and living abroad. I don't want to live in America right now. And he's sending me a message. Guy does very well for himself. Makes a few $100,000 a year. Doesn't know who to get in contact with. Sometimes these types of questions you can't ask your relatives, you can't ask your family, you can't ask your siblings because they're going to sit there and say, wait, you're going through tough times? Do you know a cold response, Vinny, on email, what percentage of cold email you send to somebody, what percentage of the time people respond? 1%. Do you know on Instagram, it's 3%. Twitter is 3 to 5%. LinkedIn is 8 to 12%. You know what a cold response on Monect is right now? 91%. And you know what's even better than the 91%? Over 50% of the time, you will get the answer to your question within 24 hours. Why is that important? Because anybody that I want to get a hold of, I don't have a problem saying, hey, man, I value your time. Here's $200. What do you think about this? I'm thinking about raising money on this. Hey, here's $50. I'm going through this issue right now. Here, what do you think about this? Hey, I'm trying to raise some money. What are some 5 things you can tell me about doing this? Hey, my wife and I are going through some challenges. Hey, we're trying to put our kids into private school. What do you think about this? Hey, I'm thinking about leaving my job to start a business. What do you think about this? Monect has become the top networking app where people get back to you promptly. And the reason why they do is because you show respect for their time by simply saying, hey, I'm willing to pay for a speedy response. By the way, go ahead and Monect Cuomo on anything he said today you disagree with. Go to Monect him. Ask him a question. See what kind of answers he gets. The audience loves Cuomo's answers. That's his QR code. Go to his QR code. Ask him a question. Go have a conversation with Vinny or Adam or Sauce and see what kind of response they're giving you. By the way, on top of that, Tulsi Gabbard just crossed 100 Monect. Awesome. And she's responding on Monect. We even ran a contest right now with Monect that we're going to be having dinner together here in South Florida at Casa D'Angelo. And then afterwards, we're going to go to the cigar lounge. And here's what the Leaders Bulletin right now looks like. All you have to do is go to Monect.com. Rob, if you can go to Monect.com, just click on the logo, Rob. Just click on, there you go. You go to Monect.com on the top left, click on the Leaders Bulletin. Then when you go there, you can see the video to explain the contest. But if you go below, there's different categories. That's the lightweight right now. At the top is Tulsi. Then it's Brandon Davis. Then it's, I can't read it if you can zoom in. What's that name? Santino Testani, okay, at third place. Wow, look at Joanne Gavilan is right behind Santino, 73, and then Gary Wood, 66. Then go to the middleweight, Rob, if you want to go to the middleweight. Middleweight, we have Fernando still at the top with 69. Then you got Parsa, he's about to pass him up, 68. Then you got Michael Mara and Tomo, the rest of the camp. Then if you can go on the right, Rob, you're even there. Is that Rob Gargouille? You have the 10th spot.
I have 10th spot middleweight.
Rob is getting Monect. Freaking sick. All right, so then we have the heavyweights. Dustin, boom, 204. Calvin G, 109. Chris, 59. Krishan, 48. Then Dennis, Ben Pappas, Aaron Mon. And then we got Sapula, or Mario. And I go to home team. Vinny's just dominating everybody. 497, 304, 252. Adams 1 away from 100, 99. Then go to the bottom for people asking the most questions. You got Eddie at the, he's asking 90. This is a brand new person using Monect. 93 questions. Terry Hall, 92. Manuel Lopez, 88. Eric, 76 questions being asked. And then go to the right, people that have been on Monect before. Dustin's asked 229. Wow, Sarujan got 219, Ozzy 197, and then you got the rest of the folks. So go use the app, start connecting today, get the answer to your questions. I've learned from a long time ago at 23, 24, 25 years old, I am willing to pay to get the answers now because the right answer to a question I have today, not 6 months from now, not a year from now, not 2 years from now, from the right qualified person can change my life and save me years of headaches. Anyways, download the app, start connecting today. Having said that, video I want to show you with Byron Donalds. That went viral this week. Ralph, you can pull that up. So this video here is a video, if we can get the date, this is how many, let's see what Chief, can you go back up to see when this video is? This video is from 2021. Let me read it from Chief Nerd. He's great at posting these types of things. Now that you have left CNN, Chris, and started providing more balanced view on COVID vaccines, including the serious harm that can cause, would you be willing to apologize for interviews like this one from 2021? The mainstream media denial of natural immunity claims that the vaccine would stop infection transmission and complete omission of potential risk caused great harm in our society. People lost careers, relationships, loved ones, and trust in our institutions due to its harmful propaganda. Your apology would show a lot of courage that, frankly, your peers have lacked. All right, play the clip. It's 2 minutes. Go for it.
Everybody should know that about you, Byron Donald. You are not telling people to get vaccinated. You are not pushing it. You are not saying it's the right choice. You're saying you're not doing it and your family's not doing it, and you're leaving out of the equation that you can make other people sick as if that doesn't matter. Okay?
Chris, did you not just hear my answer 30 seconds ago where I said if you want to be protected from these variants and the original strain, please go get vaccinated? I promote you to do that. I just told you live on your own show that if you want to get vaccinated in America, go do it. But if there are Americans like myself who choose not to, please don't berate me for doing that. That is a personal choice I have made with my own health care. I am allowed to do that. I'm entitled to do
Byron,
that.
You're absolutely right to do it. You have a right to do it. Two different statements. Okay? Do you have the right? Of course, nobody's debating that except you guys as a false choice. What I'm saying is it right to do it? Have you spoken to a doctor? You're supposed to be a leader. Have you talked to the CDC and the people who are in Florida at the Department of Health about whether or not they think you made a good choice? Because if your answer is just then, well, I don't care what they say. This is me. I'm an American. That is being dumb as a proxy for being bold. And I don't think it's a good message because remember, it's not just you protecting yourself.
Let me say this.
It's you protecting me and other people from you. That's why you get vaccinated, not just for yourself. Important distinction. Go ahead.
Actually, the way vaccines work are to protect yourself. A vaccine that basically gives you a special cocoon where you actually limit the worst harmful effects of the virus itself or may not get it altogether depending on your own personal physiology. So that's the way vaccines work. Now, to me personally, I did talk to a couple of doctors that I know about it. I told them I already had it and I'm 42. What do you think? And they said, yeah, you're fine. If that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. They didn't come and say, no, you have to do it because of everybody else. Because if other people want to be protected, they have access to vaccines. Go get the vaccine. I would never tell anybody not to get vaccinated. I do totally support it if that's what somebody chooses to do.
Byron, I'm with you.
I don't know why this is hard. It's that simple.
Oh, listen, I totally agree with you. It is very simple. I think you're making it hard because you're seeing some kind of righteousness and a choice to do something that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But again, that's your right. What I'm saying is something else. You're wrong about how vaccines work. You're only giving part of the prophylaxis, okay? The other aspect to why you take the vaccine is it also reduces, not completely, nothing is perfect, and certainly this vaccine is not, but it also reduces your ability to communicate the virus and make other people infected. That part matters too.
Okay, now that's resurfacing. We've had conversations, we've talked about COVID. Tom and I are talking about the long vaccine and what that's doing. A lot of my friends are going through it. And
long COVID.
Not long vaccine, forgive me. Long COVID. A lot of friends are talking about it. We're 40, 50. You know, you're sitting there saying, hey, what the hell is going on in my body? What's changed from that conversation with you and Byron to where you are today?
Well, a lot has changed, and a lot needs to change that hasn't. Here's what matters to me about the clip. Apology? Of course not. Byron Donalds comes on my show now, okay? Why? Exchange of respect. Was never personal. I believe as a leader at that time, you had a duty to be thorough in what you were putting out there as opposed to just playing politics, okay? This was never as simple as vaccine good, vaccine bad. Politics made it that. And it put us into a toxic environment, no pun intended, where even today, there's no curiosity about the vaccine. You get a VAERS system, which is very imperfect, and you don't have robust government dialogue or investigation of the vaccine. You don't have political investigation of what happened during the pandemic, what was right, what was wrong, to Vinny's point about what's still continuing, about who wants to control what. Because they only see politics. They only see advantage. My concern is that the unknowns are now more dangerous than the knowns. So what's changed since then? I don't have long vaccine. People are saying I've admitted long vaccine.
Oh, okay.
People are saying I've admitted that the vaccine hurt me. I have not admitted that. I don't know that. Do I now believe that we have data to support the fact that there are thousands of people who have had adverse effects that are not getting attention, let alone treatment? Yes. And I fault government for that. I do have what they call long COVID. Now, I say they call because the government, it's funny, after that clip, I got called by government people bitching at me because I said that the vaccine wasn't perfect. So that's where we were then. That's where we were then. But they say, hey, Chris, easy on the long COVID. We don't know that it's a thing. We don't know. We're still trying to figure it out. It could be other things, autoimmune. So I'm saying my doctors say I have long COVID. I have the symptoms. They showed me my blood work, scared the bejesus out of me to see this glowing micro clot stuff that they see in my blood. It really shook me up. So I'm doing all the protocols. My doctor, Terrain Health, they're an international consortium because they have to do it themselves because the government's not giving them any guidance. The vaccine is a really important conversation that's being ignored. I do not fault myself for telling people at the time what the government was giving us as best practices. People say, but your job is to question. On what basis? The basis of questioning early on was because I say so. Because you don't get to tell me what to do and not do. Fine, I say. You are right. I said it then. However, you can't expect to be everywhere and do everything that the government is controlling because you're not going to. Your kids aren't going to be able to be in school, just like is true today in terms of what your state's vaccine protocol is. That was my point. What this guy and others want me to do is to say, I was wrong, the vaccine is bad. I'm not going to say that. The data is overwhelming that when the vaccine entered our population, the people going into the hospital with very serious or eventually terminal cases was reduced. Now, at what cost and why? We don't know. Am I open to that? Yes. If I were a propagandist, I wouldn't be doing the reporting that I'm doing right now. I started a Substack that is only about this, where I am letting you see what my doctor is saying and what we're doing on my own dime, because I believe in it. I'll tell you something else that's going to get you a lot of hits. I am taking a, what do they call it? Like a regular dose, whatever. They're trying to build up of ivermectin. Ivermectin was a boogeyman early on in COVID.
You couldn't talk about it.
That was wrong. We were given bad information about ivermectin. The real question is why? Everyone's going to say Joe Rogan was right. No, Joe Rogan was saying, yeah, he was right. But that's not what matters. What matters is the entire clinical community knew that ivermectin couldn't hurt you. They knew it, Patrick. I know they knew it. How do I know? Because now I'm doing nothing but talking to these clinicians who at the time were overwhelmed by COVID and they weren't saying anything. Not that they were hiding anything, but it's cheap, it's not owned by anybody, and it's used as an antimicrobial, antiviral in all of these different ways and has been for a long time.
For malaria for over almost 20 years.
Yeah. So, and my doctor, who is now my doctor, was using it during COVID on her family and on patients, and it was working for them. So they were wrong to play scared on that. Didn't know that at the time, know it now, admit it now, reporting on it now. Because I think that's the job. The idea that, well, you were a vaccine proponent. Why wouldn't I have been a vaccine proponent? Now there are questions. Oh, no, but I knew at the time. No, you didn't. What you knew was that there were people telling you to be resistant to what the government was telling you to do. That's fine. But I think for Byron Donalds and for other leaders, that's not the standard. The standard is, what is the basis of you telling people it's okay if you don't take it? And I felt that he didn't have a good basis. It was, well, I'm playing politics, and on the right, there's a growing thing. The only thing I've ever seen Trump booed for by his base is what? I think you should take the vaccine. But nobody judges Trump for it, interestingly.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So, no, I fully agree with you there. And I think that there's a part of Trump's base that goes to RFK because of him saying that. So I think that's the part that that team needs to be careful every time they brag about vaccine, because RFK wins every time he does that.
Right. And you know what RFK says? When you say to him, are you anti the vaccine?
He says no.
No.
Yeah.
But nobody's chasing him.
However, wait a minute. But however, he'll tell you the fact that the first case of autism was in 1943, right after we increased the amount of vaccine dosages we're taking, and how many people we have now. Used to be 1 out of 5,000. He'll give you that data. But I want to ask you a question. My challenge was the following. My challenge was, okay, vaccine's here, take it. I'm like, how much research have we done on the COVID vaccine? No, it's good. We're ready. Take it. I'm like, bro, I'm not ready to take it right now. I want to see a little bit more to see what's going to happen to people, right? Okay, so say 2026, COVID 2.0 shows up, okay, from another lab in China, whatever. They release it, okay? Because Trump's president, and they're sick of it, and they want him out ASAP, and it worked last time, let's do it again, okay?
Who's
and they
they?
release it. Whoever they is, okay? Whoever they is, China, whoever we want to talk about, right? COVID comes out. Now we have 5.5 years, almost 6 years of experiencing with vaccine, and we know the research and the results. You're working at wherever you're working at the time. Let's just say you're doing cable with Tunes Nation, okay?
I'm at VT, baby.
You're at VT,
What's
that's
up,
right?
baby.
But you're talking COVID vaccine 2026.
Yeah.
Would you be as staunch supporter of people taking a vaccine like you were in that clip with Byron?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because we know more now.
I agree.
And most importantly, what I know now.
Right.
And I'm telling you, look, I'm not going to betray all my sources because that's the way my job works. But I promise you, if you believe nothing else about me, nobody has less cover of ignorance about what was happening during COVID and the pandemic than I do. I was looped in with everyone, the people who created the antibodies. I was talking on a regular basis, NIH, the head of Operation Warp Speed, the head of the vaccinology. I was talking to these people all the time, okay? Why? Because I was known for going through the illness. What has changed? They now know that they have questions to answer which they are refusing to answer. The first thing I would do, if God forbid there were another pandemic, which, by the way,
they're warning us, they're telling us it's coming.
This would be the first thing. I don't want to move off where this came from and who made it and how it is. I'm not moving off. I don't care how many cases are spreading. We know how to deal with that, and we know it's going to be incomplete. We know we're going to have problems. Once the virus is going to beat us. So we know that. So let's not panic about that. Where did it come from? Why did China do this? I don't believe that it came from a wet market. So now let's flip it. Now you prove to me that it was benign, that it was innocent. Let's stay on that. Let's not do what Trump did for good, bad reason, no reason, which was China good, China good. They're doing great. They're working with us. Love China. To China bad, China virus. What changed? His very keen sense of advantage. That I need a bad guy because I said this was going to go away. And now it's spreading like wildfire. Can't be on me, although I'm the president and the buck's supposed to stop here. Let me find a bad guy. China. I say, fine. You want them to be the bad guy. Stay on it. That's the first thing that I would do that I haven't done. The second thing I would do is what I'm doing right now. Every time I have somebody on who is involved with the government, and I can't get anybody at the NIH now. I can get Tony Fauci on the phone. They want to make him a boogeyman. Tony Fauci goes over every piece of research that I say that I send to him and tells me, I think you should go this way. I think you should. The stuff that came out from the New York Times. All right, Tony won't be upset at me for betraying this confidence. I say, I think there are enough people out here that they should be asking questions. He says, well, the analysis gets stuck on, well, every vaccine has side effects. So in terms of how the system works, they're not curious. because, well, every vaccine has side effects. And by percentage, given how many people we gave this vaccine, we're doing pretty good. So they're not curious. I am curious. And not just because I'm sick, because I had my symptoms that they're calling long COVID now before I got vaccinated. So I don't know that it's the vaccine, but I know that there's enough to know that there should be a 9/11 commission style review of what happened during the pandemic, because we screwed up everything.
Yeah.
Everything was screwed up. Now, people want to seize on the vaccine, and they'll accuse me of word salad and not wanting to go back. I have no reason. I wish it were as simple as me saying, Pat, I was wrong. We have all these facts now about the vaccine that I should have been saying at the time.
Do you think you were spooked by your peers at CNN and your bosses?
I've never been spooked.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.